End of Dragons, strike missions, balance, and rewards. Hello, everyone. For camera-rich encounters, design team lead, and solar skills and balance design lead. Guild Wars 2 EOD is almost upon us, and I want to give an advanced look at a few important changes that will help keep Guild Wars 2's endgame PvE content fresh and rewarding for a long time to come. These changes to rewards and profession balance work together with the design of our new Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons strike mission encounters. Today we're giving you some details so that you'll have a better idea of what to expect when the expansion launches on Feb 28th. So let's jump right into it. Striking back. Challenging group PvE content is one of the cornerstones of Guild Wars 2, and Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons will ship with 4 new strike missions available on launch day. You'll be introduced to each encounter and their core mechanics as you play through these story chapters, and access each strike mission will be permanently unlocked for your account once you complete each relevant chapter in the story journal. That's pretty much the same with all strike missions. By integrating these encounters directly into your story, we're looking to grow the strike mission audience and encourage as many players as possible to give them a try. With this wider target audience, we've turned the base difficulty of each strike mission to make knowledge and mastery over the encounter's mechanics the most important factors in achieving success. Each encounter has a series of pass or fail mechanical checks that reinforce this design philosophy, ensuring that groups can't bypass key mechanics while also ensuring individuals can still have heroic moments where they will save the group from destruction. We sought to strike a balance where players of all kinds can enjoy the content and have a satisfying experience, working their way towards victory. For those looking for even greater glory, challenge modes for each strike mission will be coming shortly after launch, with increased rewards for those who choose to tackle them. We're in the final stages of turning and balancing these grueling encounters and can't wait to unleash them into the world. Reward changes. Okay.
Oh wow, that's a lot of information. I just skimmed over everything.
While
There's so much.
Okay, so with Guild Wars 2 EOD, we're adjusting existing reward systems to make it clear how they fit together to ensure they're exciting and have long-term appeal, and to give them a role in crafting legendary equipment. These changes affect high-end Fractal rewards, Iceboot Saga strike missions, rewards from new Guild Wars 2 End of Dragon strike missions, in addition to raid reward vendors. High-end Fractal rewards. We approach any adjustments to our Mystic Coin economy with a lot of care. Mystic Coins are a fundamental currency used to create Mystic Clovers and are used directly to many legendary items. Currently, Challenge Mode Fractals are one of the largest single sources for Mystic Coins entering our economy, as each boss in Challenge Modes 98, 99, and 100 has a small chance to award either 1, 2, or 3 MCs. Although this chance is random and unreliable, it adds up as many players take on Challenge Mode Fractals consistently, making Fractals the most efficient one-stop source for obtaining the gold and MCs and the Mystic Clovers you need for legendary progression. We want to spread the love to other types of content, but that means no single source should award such high amounts of legendary sources at the same time. This will be the following changes with the expansion launch. Mystic Clover purchases from the Fractal vendors now resets weekly instead of daily. You can purchase up to 10 Mystic Clovers per week. Wow, okay, that is a huge change. So currently right now, you could buy up to what? 2 Mystic Coins? Oh, sorry, 2 Mystic Clovers.
So
right?
basically they removed 4 clovers weekly, but they made it where it's like you can buy more in bulk weekly,
so it's 10.
I guess. So you basically lose out on 4 clovers per week with this change.
So it's 2 every week, right?
Yeah, 2 every day.
So 2 every day, so that's 14 a week, now going to 10 a week.
But if they're spreading it out, that makes sense, because there'd be more if you do more content, there's more spots you can go buy.
The cost of each Mystic Clover you can purchase from the Fractal vendor has been adjusted to cost 1 less glob of ectoplasm and 1 more Mystic Coin. 1 more Mystic Coin. Actually, this is supposed to increase the value of MC, because now it costs an extra MC to buy it. The total cost per Mystic Clover is 150 relics, 2 Mystic Coins, 2 globs of ectoplasm, and 2 Spirit Shards. This is approximately 2/3 of the average cost of creating a Mystic Clover via the Mystic Forge. Bosses in Challenge 98, 99, and 100 no longer have a chance to drop Mystic Coins. It costs more MC. No, how is this in any sense dropping it? No, this would cost more MC. Now, it does, of course, the idea that it spreads to more content, right? You can have the argument that this is supposed to somehow balance that out, but it still costs more MC. The new price and weekly frequency of the discounted MC and fractal vendors
Keep reading. There's other stuff that affects things.
will be consistent with other sources of Mystic Clovers we're adding to strikes and raids. The removal of Mystic Coin jobs from challenge mode bosses creates room for us to add a consistent and predictable source of Mystic Coins to strikes. All right, now how will it take effect in the Icebrute Saga strikes? Okay, right now in the live game, the Icebrute Saga strike missions award red, blue, and green profit crystals. The color awarded changes from week to week. That's correct. This is more complicated than it needs to be, and it can be difficult to learn how each type of currency is earned and what it's for. So the system will be improved following the changes on February 28th. All Icebrute Saga strikes will only award blue profit crystals. All Icebrute Saga strikes that used to cost green and red now cost blue profit shards. Your red and green will ultimately be exchanged for blue the next time you log in after the expansion launches. The green are now awarded by new End of Dragons strike missions, and red are no longer in use. All right, so they're basically consolidating it all into like lesser currencies. That's actually good. This is a good change.
Yep.
End of Dragons strikes, green profits crystals. So the strikes will award green profit shards, which can be spent at a new vendor found in a hub area in Kanta. In addition to their own new set of rewards, End of Dragons strikes will have 2 weekly limited trades, allowing you to exchange your green profit shards for materials used to create legendary equipment. 10 times per week, you could trade 10 green profit shards and 1 spirit shard for 1 mystic coin. 10 times per week. Oh, wow. Okay,
Yep.
5 times per week, you could trade 30. Okay, so this is just kind of like a different rate. 30 green profit shards, 2 mystic coins, 2 globs of ectoplasm, and 2 spirit shards for 1 mystic clover.
So they're adding more ways to acquire mystic clovers, just different methods now.
Yeah, but they're balancing it in a weird way. So it's kind of like it's a good setback.
It's the bounce.
I think this is actually somewhat okay. Long term though, this could be a mess. 10 per week. So you still
We'll have
need
to wait and see how it impacts.
I mean, so look, spirit shards is still 10 spirit shards. It's still a lot of spirit shards you have to give up to get the 1 mystic coin. So I would argue that
Here's
the
the thing,
setback is more.
You realize that makes like mystic coins now, like spending spirit shards on mystic coins now one of the, like the most valuable ways you can spend your spirit shards with this change.
Mm-hmm.
Like legitimately, just like aiming to get 10 spirit shards a week and maxing your mystic coins is entirely worth it.
This is gonna be interesting.
We're gonna see a
this
flood
actually
of
has
them
just
in the
switched
market.
the formula now. Your spirit shards have now been worth more. So you're actually going to see more people giving a thought about their spirit shards. So think of everybody who has thousands of these, but then even tens of thousands of spirit shards. These people right now are winning, literally. 10 MCs, I think in the long term, it would probably damage this price because it will be brought down in the economy. So you'll see the long term effect
be like
already.
5 per week. They should max it out at. I think honestly that would probably make it a lot more balanced. But we'll have to wait and see, like how it affects things. And I'm sure, but I'm telling you, we're gonna see a massive flood of mystic coins on the market. Is what I would predict.
Not even actually bottles out though, because I mean, think of it. 10 spirit shards is a lot, by the way. It's not a small feat, and that's 10 for 1. 10 profit crystal and 1 spirit shard for 1 MC. So imagine you do that 10 a week. It's honestly, you'll start seeing people drain up their spirit shards, and that the fact that people will take longer to craft an item because now the spirit shards eventually get drained out causes for an increase in prices in the long term. So while it's gonna, definitely shake the things up in the short term, long term, people 6-7 months after they've depleted as many spirit shards as they can to make use of this, you're gonna start seeing items take a lot longer to appear. Now, this is obviously not going to be a huge change, but you will sort of see a small change in the time frame it takes for some of these items that are very much heavily reliant on spirit shards. We're adding a Mystic Clover purchase option that will give raiders a way to spend their raid currencies on broader legendary progress goals. So 10 times per week, you could trade 30 magnetite shards, 2 mystic coins, and 2 globs of ectoplasms, and 2 spirit shards for 1 mystic clover. You know, this to me is actually a bad trade-off. Like, look at all of this that you have to spend just to get 1 mystic clover. This is actually
to guarantee for
one
raiders
mystic
that
clover. This is a this is a bad trade-off. This is
like for someone who exclusively raids, that's actually that actually is not a bad option. I'll be honest. Like I've seen I know a lot of raiders who is like that this would be perfect for them. For us, no, it's terrible.
It's
but that's not for us.
It's still a bad trade-off. Yes, true, but you'll start to see how much of a bad trade-off this is. I mean, 2 MCs, 2 globs of ectoplasms, 2 spirit shards for 1 Mystic Clover. That's almost double the amount.
That's still cheaper than if you roll for it.
Yes and no, though, right? Because when you roll for it, you are using what's it called? When you roll for it, you could still go for the one method, which is be still better than this. And at least with the MCs, you could somehow get materials. This is kind of a set rate, and this is not as good as this is not really that good. But I mean, yeah, sure. For someone who maybe doesn't do it as much besides this, okay, fine. But they still need to get 2 mystic coins and 2. I mean, this is easy, 2 globs of Vector, but 2 MCs, people usually are very, very much holding on to this for dear life. And 2 spirit shards in itself, a couple months later, they'll find themselves grinding for MCs to make this worth their while. All right, between 10 per week from Fractals, 10 per week from raids, and 5 per week from Guild Wars to End of Dragon Strikes. So you can purchase 25 discounted Mystic Clovers each week. We don't expect every method to be equally efficient for everyone, and which ones are best for you depends on the type of content you play regularly. So if you play Fractal challenge modes often, then you have access to a lot of Fractal edits, and so Fractals remain an efficient source for Mystic Clovers for you. Raiders will be able to spend up to 300 Magnetite Shards a week to convert to Mystic Clovers, which is the maximum earned from killing bosses each week, and converting your gating crystals into Magnetite Shards as well. Although for some raiders, they can earn a little more from resources such as extra boss miniatures and weekly achievements for completing the 5 raid challenge mode bosses. Yeah, this is like a weekly achievement that you could do. The 5 Mystic Clovers a week from the End of Dragon Strikes are an option if you don't have regular access to raids or a lot of Fractal Relics, but players who engage across multiple content types will find it most difficult to earn their Mystic Coins with strikes and then spend them for those Clovers using either Fractal Relics or Magnetite Shards. Okay, so those are all the options. They're doing some skill updates. Okay, where we're coming. Okay, so... Okay. I want to look at what the prices of our MCs have gone to with all of this. With all of this hassle.
It's 2 gold, 2 silver right now. Like, people are probably
This is actually panic buying right now. This is
people are panic buying. Yeah, you probably could have made a fortune if you had saw this if you saw the increase and just listed a bunch of yours.
Okay, so I'm gonna get to the other part in the video in a bit, but I want to talk about this specifically because this is where mostly.
I gotta go in 10 minutes.
Yeah. So let's talk about rewards. I think for the most part it's a neat idea. I do think this value spirit shards now more than ever, and so this is more a plus for spirit shards than it is for MCs. Now there's a bit of a trade-off here, right? Like, over here, you're only getting 10 Mystic Clovers per week in Fractals than the 14 that you used to get before. So there's 4 Clovers that's kind of a loss here. They are removing MCs from Mystic Coins, are not going to drop in any of the CMs anymore because now they've thrown them to being exchanged here. And so the only way to get them are more or less through these vendors, right? These vendor options that you can. Overall, I think you'll notice the spirit shard currency drain a lot more in the coming months. Mystic Coins is going to be in a very weird flux because as it stands right now, there's a lot of alt account farming. There's a lot of people who already hoard a lot of Mystic Coins. So I can't really 100% tell you that Mystic Clovers are going to go up or down because as it stands right now, there's quite a lot of them in the market, right? Like, they're technically they should be at this price. They should be at the price range of like here, like 1 gold 68, 1 gold 60 silver. This is where they should be at naturally, minus all the other market situations that happened, the duping that happened earlier last year and all of that. They need to be at this price. This is technically their actual price. All of this is just noise coming in from the market. All of this is just noise. I do think they will initially spike up, but say 3 months down the line, you'll see more supply of them come in because people are going to use all their spirit shards to get more and more and more into them. And so you'll definitely see more supply come in. Depending on if they use another way, like if Gen 3s consume them, then there you go. That's another sink. So that will probably balance that out, in my opinion. So there you have it. That's the MC take.
I think we're going to see more influx than we will see outflux. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Mystic Coins like go very low very quickly. Because I'm telling you, trading a spirit shard for a Mystic Coin is by far one of the best values you could ever get. And all you have to do is do strike. Yeah, all you have to do is basically do strikes. Like the new strikes. Easy.
So for my fun payout, I want the stable currency. Yeah, I mean, this actually changes things on our fund payout because we can't give MCs now. They're very volatile.
Fun times.
Yeah, so they introduced ways that you can get them, right? But for example, the cost of each MC Mr. Clover you purchase from Fractal vendor has been adjusted to cost 1 less. Okay, so this
Ecto is gonna stable.
Yeah, so Ectos actually will kind of be not bad because now you've created another reason to spend your Ectos. So this actually will give Ectos a bit of a boost too. The smart play is actually Ectos, not Mystic Coins is never the smart play. It's really always Ectos that you want to. In terms of a currency, these are more stable. This probably might have an increase now, but when you compare the two, ectoplasms are far more stable currency than Mystic Coins. Far more. Absolutely.
I've never seen Ecto go like. I've seen Ecto as low as 40 and as high as 60 per stack, and that's not that like to me that's not a very volatile currency. That's like I could guarantee like I can get around in and around on average 50 gold for a stack of Ecto.
Yeah, I mean, there's
I need to actually get some more Ecto.
Ectos in general, unless like things like this to me is like something that changes the fundamentals of what it can be traded for. Ectos overall have only been affected 4 times since launch. They were 60, they were 44, they were like maybe 3 times. And that was mostly to do the last recent change of Ectos was the multi-loot farm. And you know, of course, they always add more things that you would require Ectos. So to me, Ectos is still gonna be okay. I mean, even if it drops, it's still more stable. If it goes up, it's still more stable because eventually it stabilizes at whatever that new price it will be deemed to be at, right? And it holds that price for years. It doesn't like drop every year. It holds whatever price points it's at. It holds them for years. Right now, it's at 19 silver. And at most it goes up to 26 silver every year, like, and that's only because like of Festival of Four Winds, right? Whereas MC every year it's up and down with this currency. Every single year there's something going up in this currency. Whereas Ectos shifts by a couple silver, not a big deal. MC, a couple shifts in silver actually affect its overall price, right? Like a gold 60 is a far bigger difference than a gold 50, gold 40. A gold 80, a gold 90, like it's just, you know, and the price points of course contribute to that, but yeah, Ectos here are still a good play to go for. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with this change here, changing the profit crystals, consolidating them to one color for pre End of Dragons and post End of Dragons. Here for 1 Mystic Coin, Spirit Shards has just become the currency over Mystic Coins. Even though you can't trade them, but they are a very good currency to have. And over here, the same with raids. Although I feel like the trade-off in raids is honestly not that good. This is more like encouraged people to go into strikes than it has encouraged people to go into raids. So,
I mean, we'll have to wait and see how everything changes everything. I don't think we can convert blue to green or green to blue.
they haven't mentioned that. No, they have not mentioned that. All right, that's the takes that I have for this. We'll clip this for the YouTube video. This is honestly what I'm gonna clip for the YouTube video. I guess we could talk about this too. Equipment, profession, and skill updates. When we're coming, where we're coming from and where we're going. Bring the player, not the profession. That's our goal. We want to ensure that every player feels like they're able to play the profession they like or identify with the most and bring valuable contributions to the group. This means roles should be determined by your build and gear rather than your profession. Okay? Guild Wars 2 is about positive cooperative encounters. When more players play at the same time and place, they're all stronger. No profession is purely selfish and completely unable to benefit nearby allies. A year ago, essential gameplay roles such as alacrity and quickness were only able to be filled by a few specific builds. In May of last year, we added a couple of additional options. While this has improved the diversity we see in actual raid groups, it was just a start. The 9 new elite specializations coming into Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons spread boon support roles, professions that didn't have access to them, making it easier to slot the profession you like to play into the role your group has available. At its core, Guild Wars 2 thrives when the game encourages a build diversity. A few additional changes are coming to increase parity between professions on a wider scale. This is wow, finally, wow. This is what the community has been asking for. Oh wow, how nice.
Yep.
Forming a squad, skill target caps and PvE. Currently forming a squad for 10-player content requires juggling specific roles between subgroups based on target caps. Some roles such as Alacrity and Warrior Banners have a target cap of 10 players, while almost all others such as most healing, quickness, and other boons have a target cap of 5. Originally, the 10 target cap on Renegade and later Mirage Alacrity were because there were so few options to fill this essential boon role. So Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons will give Engineer, Guardian, and Thief support builds access to Alacrity, and Elementalist and Necromancer will be able to provide quickness. With these added options, now is the right time to simplify this aspect of squad formation. Most 10 target skills and traits in PvE will have a maximum of target of 5 in the expansion, matching their current target caps in PvP and WW. Generally, this means that for each subgroup in a squad for strikes or raids, you'll want a healer, a source of quickness, and a source of alacrity, though we expect expert theocrafters to find ways to combine some of these roles. At least I like the fact that they finally have addressed these issues. That is pretty much been the argument for a lot of people in the community. Like the fact that 2 classes do the whole role for like 8 others and that's it, right? And I like this. This is perfect. This is a good step in the right direction. From who to who can't. In Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons, only Warrior and Ranger lack the ability to fill those essential boon support roles. Oh boy, Warrior. Ah, yes. Good stuff. Since banners and spirits are unique effects, Warrior and Ranger break from the simple system of shared boons and conditions that allows professions to share common roles. While this creates certain unique group roles like the Banner Warrior, it also strongly limits play. Warrior players have been telling us for years that they'd like to see something other than a Banner Warrior in groups. We agree, and we're going to rework banners and spirits to fit our shared boon system and open up new options for Warrior and Ranger players. Both professions will have access to new boon support roles using revamped banner spirits and related traits. Unfortunately, due to the time constraints to work on the new elite specializations, we were unable to make these changes for the expansion's launch, and we're planning to make them part of a larger profession update and balance patch coming up this summer. Until then, banners and spirits will remain as they are and continue to have a 10 target cap. Well, we'll see what they plan with this, but this is good. This is very good. Finally increasing the role, especially for Warrior. I feel like Warriors had like the butt end of the joke now in every single encounter. Oh yeah, you're a Warrior, go Banner Slave. That's all you can do, right? So I like that. New equipment attribute combinations. You'll have 2 new equipment attribute combinations options in Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons. Ritualist equipment provides a large increase to condition damage and vitality, and a small increase to concentration and expertise. Dragon's equipment provides a large increase to power and ferocity, and a small increase to precision and vitality. These attribute combinations will be available as an option for all legendary equipment immediately on launch day, and you can earn equipment with these prefixes by playing expansion content. We look forward to seeing what the new builds and attribute combinations enable across all game modes. The path ahead. It may be called the end of Dragons, but this isn't the end, it's the beginning. As we look forward to 2022 and beyond, we're glad to have you with us on our continued journey together through Tyria. There's a lot to look forward to, and we can't wait to share more of what's to come. That is a huge update, probably the biggest update we've recently seen towards this expansion. This is good. I like the changes that they're going to do for some of the class reworks. Perfect. The profession and the equipment. The consolidating of some of the currency makes sense. This is going to be a field day in the economy. I can't wait to see the panic in the overflow Discord when I get off. So, how are we at with our Mystic Coin counter right now?
They're at 2 gold.
Oh, it's at 2.5. Wow. Okay, guys, stop panicking here. Seriously, stop panicking.